Yeah, so today's class is about relational algebra. Okay. Um, this is a kind of formal language. That means this is not any programming language or any SQL language or something which you can execute directly on the system. This is a formal language. That means this is a formal representation of the query that you are writing. Suppose you are writing select star from employee. That means that's a query which you can execute on the SQL prompt or Oracle terminal. Fine, but uh, one second. Yeah. Mm, so relational algebra is a formal language. Okay, it's a formal representation of the query that you are writing. Fine. So it has these operations, unary relational operations, then some set theory operations. Then there is another part called relational calculus, under which you have tuple calculus and domain calculus. Okay. So initially, what is your relational algebra? So under this, you have set of operations that works on relational models. Okay, these are called formal representation or query, formal query, not actual executable query. Fine. So what happens is that using this, you can this is you can get to know that how it works as a sequence. That means how the query works on the database. Those things you can get to know. Then you can execute the query by directly writing the query commands. Fine. Uh, yeah, so this is basic of relational algebra, which has these many parts: unary relational operation, then operation from set theory, then joins, division, binary operations. Additional Under additional operations, you have these joins, union and outer joins. Okay, unary relational operations. We'll start with unary relational operation. That means the operation or the operator work on single operand. Okay, that's why this is called unary relation. It works on a single relation. Suppose you are writing select star from employee. Okay, here there is no join condition. Only one table is mentioned. Select star from employee. So everything in that table will be displayed. Fine. So that is a unary operation, unary relational operation. So under unary relational operation, which works on single relation, you have these three basic operations, that is select, project, and rename. Select is symbolized by the symbol sigma. Project is written using the symbol pi. Rename is written using the symbol rho. When you say select, select means when you are writing select star from employee, that means it is retrieving all the rows present in the relation. Fine. Suppose I am writing select uh, e name comma salary from employee where salary is greater than 30,000. That means it will select only those rows having salary greater than 30,000, and out of that rows it will show you two columns, name and salary. Fine. Okay, so in select you are selecting the rows. Then in project similarly you will select the, or you will fetch the columns. And in rename you are renaming the relation name or the intermediate result or the result. Whatever result table you are getting, that name you are changing. So rename is for renaming the name of the relation. Project is for selecting the columns, and select is for selecting the rows. Fine. Then we will come to these things, union, intersections and all. On this database, on this particular schemas, the example should be based. Okay, so under unary operation, the first one was select. So select operation denoted by sigma is to select the tuples or subset of tuples based on a selection condition. So you have to give a selection condition. Based on that, the rows will be selected. Like I said, salary greater than 30,000. So only few rows where salary is greater than 30,000, those rows will be selected. Okay, the selection condition that thereby is called a filter. It only selects those tuples which satisfy the qualifying condition. Okay, for example, you see here, select the employee tuples whose department number is 4. So the syntax is this: select symbol, selection condition written here in subscript, then from which relation you are fetching the value. So in this example, this is the select symbol sigma. This is the relation from where you are fetching the data employee. Then this is the condition dno equals to 4. If this you would have written in terms of um, a query. Suppose this I am trying to write in terms of a query. What to do? It should have been like this. Select star from employee where n equals to 4. This is the original query. This in terms of formal representation is this. That's the difference. That if you try to execute on actual database, you have to write this SQL query. You can get the data. But when it is formal representation, this is the answer. So this is the select symbol, DNO equals to 4. This is the condition. Then on which relation on employee. So select star from employee where DNO equals to 4. Then similarly, another example, select the employee tuples whose salary is greater than 30,000. This one I was talking about. So here you can write this symbol, this is the select symbol. Then salary greater than 30,000 is the condition. Then from which relation? Employee relation. Okay, so this is the formal representation. This similarly, if you would have written in terms of query, it would be select star from employee where salary greater than 30,000. Like this. Okay, so this is the select operation. Fine. Okay. So this mentions the same thing. Sigma mentions the select operator. Selection condition is a Boolean expression specified on the attributes of relation R. Tuples that make the condition true are selected. So, see, suppose in your relation you have 30 rows. Okay. Out of those rows, salary greater than 30,000 is only for 6 or 7 employees. So those 7 rows will be selected. Rest 23 rows will not be selected. That's why this is called a Boolean expression. So it checks on the true and false result. Whichever for whichever rows the condition is true, then those rows are retrieved. Else it will not be retrieved. Fine. Now some properties of select operation. The first property is it is commutative. Commutative means you can alter the condition. Suppose on a relation R, first you select some rows based on condition 2. Then on those result you apply condition 1. Whatever result you will be getting, it will be same as applying condition 1 first, then applying condition 2. Okay, so that's why this is called commutative relation. Say in this example, um, in this table, if I say suppose from employee relation, tell me the uh, rows where salary is greater than 25,000 and department number is equals to 5. Two conditions. Salary should be greater than 25,000. All are greater than 25,000. Okay. Salary is greater than say 30,000 and department number equals to 5. So using this formal representation, what you will write? What you will write? Now select operator. Condition 1 is suppose salary greater than 30,000. Yes or no? I cannot write here. Wait. Oh. Can you see the table? Can you see the table? Okay. I said that there will be two conditions. First one is select operator. Sorry, first one is the salary greater than 30,000. Second condition is department number equals to 5. Tell me the result. Which tables, which rows will be getting?
Ramesh and Franklin.
Yeah, I have not required. Salary greater than 30,000. Yeah, this one is one. Franklin. This one is one. Okay. Salary greater than 30,000. Fine. So if I say that the condition one is first one is salary greater than 30,000. If you reverse, first you select which department number is get equals to 5. These rows will be getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you apply the condition. Out of these rows, salary should be greater than 30,000. So this one is selected. This one is selected. The same result you will obtain. Yes or no? So the conditions can be reversed. Okay. So that's why this is called commutative property. Then this is also called the commutative property has cascade nature. That means you can interchange any of the conditions. First condition 1, then condition 2, condition 3. It's not necessary. You can place condition 1 here, condition 3 here, condition 2 here, likewise. Okay. It will be, it can be mixed. There is no proper sequence. You can put any condition anywhere. Okay. Then you can also join them together. That means all the conditions applied simultaneously also will give you the same result. Suppose you apply condition 1, condition 3 first on the relation. Some rows you will be obtaining. On that you apply condition 2. Some less rows you will be obtaining. Again on that condition 1. On that result, that is equivalent to all the conditions apply simultaneously. So these are the properties of select operation. Okay. Another thing we mark that the select operation result, the result of the select operation is having the same schema as the relation R. That means the all the column number will be same. Suppose I am writing select those rows where salary is greater than 30,000. So in that row all the columns are present. Suppose in this case I said select those rows where salary greater than 30,000 and department number equals to 5. You are getting as a result which one? This Ramesh, this Franklin row and this Ramesh row. This row contains all the column names. So the schema is same. The result of select operation are having all the column name as same as your relation. So the schema of the relation and the select operation result is same. Okay. Number of tuples in the result of a less than this one. The number of tuples in the result of a select is less than or equal to the number of tuples in the input relation R. That means as a result of the select operation, whatever condition you are applying, it may happen that some rows are selected, some rows are disqualified, or all the rows are selected. Okay, or none of the rows are selected. So the cardinality of the result of select operation is always less than the cardinality of original relation. Okay, less than or equals to. It is never greater than the original relation. You will never get more number of rows than the original relation. Fine. Now come to the project operation, which is symbolized by pi. So this select
Sir,
what? Yeah.
if we want to select only two columns, for example, first name and last name,
Now this one, if you want to select
then
only two columns, then you have to apply
then
the. Huh?
then we cannot write this in relational algebra form.
No, no, you can write. You have to combine select and project, because project is for column selection, select is for row selection. Suppose you want to apply, suppose you want to find only three columns or four columns out of the result, then first you apply the select condition. On that, you take out the four columns. We'll see in this example. See this one. Project gives you columns. The result of the project operation is columns. Okay. So basically, it creates a vertical partitioning. That means it divides your table of 10 columns into 3 or 4, so that you get the result. Okay, for example, you write it like this. The syntax is sigma, sorry, pi, then which column you want, last name, first name, salary. The column names are written here. In the previous case, you are writing the condition based on which the rows were selected. Here directly you mention the column name which you want, then the relation name. Okay, so this is the syntax. Pi, sorry, yeah, pi, attribute list, then the relation name R. Okay, so attribute list is the desired list of attributes. Whichever attributes you require, you can write it, then that will be retrieved. uh, yeah, so the example is that one, pi, last name, first name, salary. Suppose you want only two columns, first name and salary, or department name and department location. Those things can be mentioned here with the relation name department. Fine. Then what are the properties it is having? Previously you saw select operation was commutative. That means if you apply condition 2 first, then condition 1, or that was equivalent to condition 1 first, then condition 2. Okay, but in this case it is not possible, because um, in this case it is possible as long as the list 2 is smaller than, sorry, is greater than list 1. Because suppose list 2 is containing two column name, and out of two column name you are trying to fetch four column name in list 1, that is not possible. Okay, but big if this is big, list 2 is suppose having four column name, out of the resultant four column name you can get two column names. That's why this is not commutative. Yeah, in this example you see the first relation result is based on this condition from the employee table. Department number equals to 4 and salary greater than 25,000, or department number equals to 5 and salary greater than 30,000. So it merges two conditions. Both the conditions are satisfied. Department number should be equals to 5 and salary greater than 30,000. These two, Ramesh and Franklin. Then department number equals to 4 and salary should be greater than 25,000. This one is the result. So it merges the two result together and shows as the result. Here you see, when you apply a select condition or a select operation, the number of columns present in the result is same as the original relation. Okay, that's why the schema of both the relations are same, but the number of rows in the result is either less or equal to the R. Fine. Then one example of pi, the project operation, L F name salary, L name F name salary. This one is the result. Out of the entire employee table that you had seen in the previous one, out of the entire employee table, you are selecting only last name, first name, and salary. In that sequence only the result will come. Last name, first name, salary. Last name, first name, salary. In that sequence only the result will be shown. Similarly, these two columns are retrieved from the employee table. Suppose I would have written here F name, salary, L name. The result would have been F name, then salary, then L name. So it follows this sequence of selection. Fine. Yeah. So in this case, these are the example of project and select operation. Yeah, it can be nested. The thing we are asking was the result. The answer is yes. You can nest or you can merge two operations one by one or together or something to retrieve the required result. See, for example, um, I want all those employee who are working in department number 5, but I don't want to see their data, all the data. I want to see only their first name, last name, and salary. So first I have to select all those employee who are working in department number 5. So I am writing this one, select operation. This will select all the rows having department number 5. Yes or no? From this particular data, it says that select last name, first name, and salary of all those employee who are working in department number 5. So first I have to select this row, this row, this row, this row. Then out of these result, these 4 rows, I have to select the last name, first name, and salary. So only 3 columns I require. So I wrote the command or wrote the formal expression like this. First one is to select the rows from the employee table. Then take out the what their columns. So if this should have been written in terms of query, SQL query, how it would be written? Select F name, N name, salary from employee where department number equals to 5. We are getting first is the selection condition. First you have to select those rows where department number equals to 5. Then when that result is obtained, you are selecting only 3 rows out of that. Okay, this is the way you write a query. But in terms of formal expression, the same thing is expressed like this. First is selection of rows where department number 5 is there. Then out of that, you select those column names, those columns which you require. So it will show you only 3 columns. Fine. Okay. Yeah, in this case, the thing which you wrote here can be expressed in terms of informal language. You can express in terms of multiple operations. First operation is selecting the rows, number of rows, that you can term as the result. You can term as department 5 underscore employee. This is a name which is a temporary name or intermediate name given to the temporary result, that is the 4 rows where department number equals to 5. Then from that 4 rows you are selecting the 3 columns which is the result. So this way also you can express. Okay, this is a intermediate name only which is given to the 4 rows where department number equals to 5. Fine. So rename operation is used in that case. We'll see. Rename operator is denoted by the symbol row. Okay, it is useful when you are doing any join operation or any subquery related operation, or when a query requires multiple different operations to act one by one. So in those cases, row is used. Yeah. So the rename operation are expressed in any of the following form. When you are writing like this, suppose this is row, S is given for the new relation name. Suppose this one is your existing relation. You want to rename the relation as well as all the columns present in it. Okay, then you can write it like this. S is the new relation name with B1, B2, Bn as the attribute name. Whatever, suppose there are 10 attributes in this R. You have to write here B1, B2, B3, B4 up to B10. Then this will be S. That means the relation is now termed as S with the attribute names termed as B1 to B10. Okay, so the relation name is changes to S, the column or attribute name changes to B1 to Bn. When you are writing this, here the attribute name will be same whatever it was in R, only the relation name will be changed to S. In this case, you are changing both the things, attribute names and table name. In this case, you are changing only the relation name. Okay. Another example is another expression is this. In this, only the attribute names are changed. The relation name will be same as R. Fine. Okay. So this is the way you rename any existing relation formally. This will not affect on the database. Okay. This is just formal representation for representing the query. Okay. Yeah, this is the example of that one only. When you are writing this department 5 employees, and with this one result, it will have the same attribute names as department employees, same attribute as employee. Yeah, but if you write this one, result is if this is this, that means the columns in the column name in the employee table will be changed to FML as this is. Yeah, the 10 attributes will be renamed to this. Fine. Any doubt up to now? That was the part of relational algebra unary operation. That means single operator on single relation. Okay. Now we will see set operations. Relational algebra set operations. Set theory operations, the intersect, the union, division, those operations. Okay. As usual, the union operation is a binary operation which works on two different relations. Suppose R and S. It is symbolized by R union S, which means it will include all the tuples present in R with all the tuple present in S. Okay. Yeah. Before you go on to union operation, there is a concept called union compatible. Union compatible means on those relations which you are applying these union or intersection or something, they should be union compatible. That means they should be having the capability to uh, be applied on this type of operations. That means union can be applied or not. First you have to check. How to check whether two relations can be applied with this union operation or not? Now they should be union compatible. Then what is union compatible? Union compatible means they should have the same number of columns with similar domain. It will not be possible if R is having 4 columns and S is having 10 columns. You cannot apply union on that. R should be having 4 and S should be having 4 columns with corresponding column having same domain. Okay, then you can write R union S, and the result will be combining all the tuples of R with all the tuples of S. For example, uh, yeah, result 1 and result 2, there are two different, sorry, result 2, yeah. What will happen by this? It says select all those rows where department number equals to 5 from the employee table. Okay, so in this particular table I have how many columns? All the columns that are there in employee, yes or no? That means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 10 columns. This will have 10 columns. 5 department number 5 are there only in 4 rows. So this particular table will be having 4 rows and 10 columns. Out of that, you are selecting only one column. Okay, SSN is selected. Only one column we are selecting, marking that as result 1. Similarly, from there you are selecting another column, super SSN, marking that as result 2. Okay, so what happens here? You are now having two relation, result 1 and result 2. Both are having one column each, and the column name are SSN, sorry, SSN in this and SSN in this, because you are renaming here. It is called renaming. Here super SSN was renamed to SSN. Now you can apply the union operation. It will be stored in result. So result is having one column only. Okay, you see here. Result 1 was having 4 rows. Result 2 was having 2 rows. And you combine, it will be having 6 rows. But here there are only 5. Why? Because it eliminates the common row. Common row is this one. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. Only 5 column, 5 rows will be available. Fine. So this was an example of union operation, which says that the two relation on which you are applying the union operation should be union compatible. And what do you mean by union compatible? Union compatible means the relations should be having the same number of columns with same domain. Okay. Okay, the same union compatible is applying for intersection and difference. Intersection means common. Okay, suppose if you would have said result 1 intersection result 2, you will be getting this as the result, 3 3 3 4 4 5 5 5 5. That means whichever is common row, that will be selected. Okay, here you see union compatible means they have the same number of attributes, and domains of the corresponding attributes are type compatible. That means having the same domain. Okay, and then what is mean by difference? Here you saw the union, sorry, this was the union. Intersection is the common one. What is the difference? Result 1 minus result 2, what you will get? Here it says set difference. Okay, here you see instructor minus student minus instructor. Which one? D. Two union compatible relations. Two union compatible. Yeah, this is student. This is instructor. Instructor relation. Okay. B is student in union instructor. This particular is the student union instructor. So what happens is that when you apply student union instructor, first you have to check whether they are union compatible or not. This is name, this is last name, this is also first name, this is also last name. So the domain are same, Number of columns are also same. Sorry, number of columns are also same. So you can apply union operation on this. So go ahead, apply the union operation. By union, what will happen? Susan, Yao, these all will be combined with these all. But the common rows will be eliminated. This was present here, this was also present here, so this will be eliminated. Similarly, what else? Ramesh Shah, that will be eliminated, and nothing else. So in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Out of 12, 2 are eliminated. 10 rows will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see, this is the result. Another thing to mark is that what is the column names getting in the result? It is fn ln. It is not fname lname, because it is taken from the first relation. Suppose you would have written here instructor union student, then this should have been fname lname. Since you wrote student union instructor, the column name is taken from the first one. Okay. Similarly, student union instructor, student intersection instructor is here. Whatever is common, those two row which we eliminated in this, Suzanne Yao and Ramesha. This is the intersection. Then what is mean by negation or sorry, the difference? Student minus instructor, student minus instructor. So it will be eliminated all those which are common and showing only the data from the left side. So Susanna was here, Ramesh Shah was here. So these two will be eliminated. Rest, Johnny, Barbara, Ami, Jimmy, Ernest will be here. Getting? So whichever was common between them in intersection, that will be displayed. But in case of difference, that will be eliminated and only the data from the first table will be shown. Got? Similarly, instructor minus student, the two common will be eliminated. Rest will be John Smith, Ricardo Brown, and Francis Johnson. Got my point? This was the relational algebra binary operations: union, intersection, and set difference. Okay. Any doubt? No. Okay. Coming to the properties of these relations, union and intersection are commutative. They are also associative. That means you can do R union S. It will be obtaining the same result as S union R. R intersection S will be obtaining the same result as S union R, S intersection R. Then associative means it will be same. This will be same as this one. Okay, but the minus operation is not commutative, because you see here you got two different result. This is R minus S, R minus S. This is S minus R. Here there are 5 rows, here there are 3 rows. This is not same, but if you apply student union intersector instructor, it will be same as instructor union student. Student intersection instructor, it will be same as instructor intersection student. But when it is set difference, the result are not same. Fine. Okay. So any doubt up to this? Tell me. डाउट है? No doubts. Okay. Okay, Cartesian product and these operations we'll see tomorrow. Just go through these slides once. This is chapter 6 slide already there in the Google Classroom. And some lab experiment I have given. You have to write the command and send me the screenshot. Don't send screenshots of other. Okay, write on your own and see how much you have learned. I have taken the related examples from that NPTEL lecture only. So there are two lectures I have given. They are small lectures. You can see them. You can get the query from there itself. The query is there. Okay, you can write it and send me. The assignment is on simple insertion, table creation, primary key, foreign key assigning, then join. So around 7 questions are given. Try to answer and send me by within 2 days. Fine. Any doubt you can ask anytime. Fine, because the course there are 3 parts left in the course in the main syllabus. This one is one which we are continuing. Then the indexing part, file, etc. And another one is transaction. That one is a big part. We will probably cover everything before time completes. But writing the queries and all is very important. You every day you try to write as much as possible. Practice from the examples from that NPTEL um, link which you are given for lab. You write on that also. It's not. Uh, no, it's good to have an example or fine. Okay, then you try to complete these assignments and whatever doubt you post here directly or mail me or whatever you can inform. Okay. Okay, then let me take the attendance.